It's okay. Oh, sorry for the delay. There's some technical glitch that is happening. Okay. Good evening to all. This daily current affairs session brought to you by Ganesh IAS Academy. Let us discuss about today's news, which has appeared in Indian Express newspaper for the date 9 June 2023. Let's get straight into the news. Okay. Pressing pause. That is, RBI has maintained a change in as maintained in the repo rate policy to be constant, similar to the previous year monetary policy committee decision. This was the news that appears in today's newspaper. Let us discuss about the content of the news. Why this news is so important? Okay, this is about the news. RBI has kept the monetary policy to be passed because the reason why what the RBI has mentioned is right now as we all know, the current consumer price index through which the inflation has been calculated in India is seeing a rapid decline, and also the core inflation, which was well above 10% last 2 quarters before, it is also seeing a very much decline. Third, why the RBI is maintaining a constant repo rate policy is because of expected projection of the growth. That is, right now we all know that post COVID, post pandemic, the economy is now reviving. Most of the sectors are in the mode of reviving. As a result of which, this year's GDP projection is going. This GDP is going to be very high. As a result of which, the RBI wanted to take a pause and monitor the situation, whether the consumer price index, that is the index through which the inflation is being calculated, will be reducing in the future date also. So that is the reason. Another major important reason why RBI is maintaining a pause is because, as we all know, from April 22, RBI reduced its accommodative stand because of the sudden increase in the inflation. As a result of which, there was a corresponding increase in the repo rate. Uh, repo rate corresponding increase in the repo rate வந்து corresponding increase இருந்தது. இப்போ corresponding increase இருந்தும் கூட அதோட எஃபெக்ட் வந்துட்டு கிரவுண்ட் லெவல்ல தெரியறதுக்கு it will take some time. So RBI that is fourth reason. RBI wanted to see what are the impacts of the repo rate increases in the previous monetary policy meetings. So this is the news. We have to get one step deeper into the news to know the various facts, facets, peripheral areas, so that you could have a clear understanding about the news. So first of all, we have to know about what is Monetary Policy Committee. Monetary Policy Committee, a committee formed by central government and led by RBI governor. It controls inflation. That is, its main agenda is to control inflation with a target of 4% and 4% with plus or minus 2%. It is a statutory body constituted by constituted under RBI Act 1934. The committee will have 6 members. Of the 6 members, the government will nominate 3. No government officials will be nominated to the Monetary Policy Committee. The remaining 3 members will be from the RBI itself. The RBI governor, the deputy governor in charge of the monetary policy, and another person belonging to the RBI. Another is members of the RBI, members of the Monetary Policy Committee will be appointed for a brief period of 4 years. Those members will not be eligible for further reappointment. So this is one of the gray area which the UPSC, the facts which UPSC might be asking if there is any question related to Monetary Policy Committee means. So we must be aware of it. So another is the decision in the Monetary Policy Committee will be taken by a majority with each members as one vote. The governor, however, will not enjoy the veto power. Will not enjoy the veto power to overrule the other panels, that is to overrule the voting or decision, but will have a casting vote in case if there are 6 members. So in case the decision is 3:3 means the tie vote will be made by RBI governor. So these are the things which we should note. Have a look at it. Second is another important point is RBI controls inflation through the monetary policy instruments. These monetary policy instruments are of 2 types. One is qualitative method. That is, under qualitative method there are 2 types of measures. One is conventional measures, another is non-conventional measures. First is bank rate policy, that is discount rate policy. Before discount rate policy we have to have an understanding about bill of exchange. Bill of exchange is nothing but the or kadan pattiran mari, or proof of the credit between the borrowers as well as the creditors. For example, if person A is a creditor and person B is the borrower, if person A gives the person A gives B ₹100 means the person B will give a promissory note that these ₹100 will be given at a particular period of time. After a particular period of time, அப்படின்ற ஒரு promissory note வந்துட்டு B will be giving it to the A. For example, this time is 3 months. Let us consider this time as 3 months. Right now, within 3 months itself, A has an urgent need. He needs these ₹100 money back. So A couldn't able to ask to B. So A will be taking this promissory note to the bank. Bank will collect the promissory note and it will give ₹92. For example, it will give, I am giving this rough number, it is not exact rate of the bank. For example, bank will be giving anything lesser than ₹100 only. Giving will give amount 92 and the remaining 8 is the interest rate of the bank. Okay. So then again, if a bank requests that money immediately means within the bank also requests the money within the 3 months period means bank will be going to RBI. RBI will purchase the promissory note from the bank and it will give the money. The money which will be given by RBI to bank will be slightly greater than the money given by the bank to the real creditor. So for example, if it gives ₹94 means RBI will bank will be gaining ₹2. RBI will be having a promissory note worth of ₹100. So after 3 months period, RBI will be connecting this ₹100 from B. So RBI will gain 6 rupees. This 6 rupees is the discount bank rate policy or discount rate policy, the discounted policy, because it is discounting the rate which was given by the bank to the real creditor. Second is open market operation. Open market operation is nothing but whenever there is a rise in the money supply, RBI will be selling its bond or security in order to push out the liquidity or the some surplus money which is available in the system. Whenever there is no or lack of liquidity in the system, means RBI will pump the money, and buy back the debt securities or any other kind of securities that is available in the system in order to increase the money supply. So this operation is called open market operation. It is also called as sterilizing operation, which was asked in 2023 prelims. So we should have a look at it. Third is variable reserve ratio. Variable reserve ratio contains of two types of reserve ratio, that is cash reserve ratio and statutory liquid ratio. This cash reserve ratio or the reserve which the banks will be keeping it with RBI. For that, RBI doesn't give any kind of interest rate. Because it saves bank from winding up operation. For example, if there is bank diwala because of the more number of non-performing asset, means this reserve will act as a cushion. Secondly, there is another reserve called statutory liquidity ratio. This statutory liquidity ratio is nothing but bank itself will be keeping within itself a certain percentage of money in the form of hard cash, gold or debt securities or any other securities are those approved by the RBI. These since the SLR is maintained by the bank in the form of security, these SLR will earn some interest rate. So by varying the percentages of money kept, the bank should keep it as reserve. The RBI could able to control the money supply that is present in the system. For example, if RBI increases the CRR, SLR, means then bank should increase the percentage of money that it should keep it as reserve rather than lending it to the borrowers. If it is reducing the reserve ratio, means RBI will be having lesser reserve ratio, remaining money will be lended to the borrowers, as a result of which there will be increasing amount of currency flow, money flow in the system. Second is non-conventional measures. The LAF, that is liquidity adjustment facility. It is one of the type of non-conventional measures followed by the monetary policy committee. It contains of two types of rates, that is repo rate as well as reverse repo rate. This repo rate is the short-term borrowing requirement made by, that is those who borrows this. It will be borrowed by bank from the RBI at the rate fixed by the MPC, that is monetary policy committee. Reverse repo rate is nothing but the short-term credit required by the RBI from the bank, that is reverse of the repo rate. Second is marginal standing facility. Whenever if any bank requests overnight credit facility, means they could able to buy it from the RBI. This MSF rate will be 1% higher than repo rate, and reverse repo rate will be 1% lower than repo rate. So these repo rate will act as a benchmark for both marginal standing facility rate as well as reverse repo rate. Why reverse repo rate is lower than repo rate is because RBI is buying from bank now. So RBI will wanted to give a small amount of interest only, since they are the custodian of the entire banking system. So that is the reason why the reverse repo rate is lesser than repo rate. Okay. Third is market stabilization scheme. This is monetary cum fiscal policy. That is, whenever there is a flow of foreign, sudden flow of foreign currency into the market, means there will be glut in the increase in the dollars, as a result of which there will be corresponding increase in the money supply. In order to reduce the what to say, sudden increase in the money supply, means RBI uses this tool to flush out the money from the system. Second is qualitative credit control. Qualitative credit control is another way of credit control by the Monetary Policy Committee. First is regulation of margin requirement, that is the amount of initial payment that should paid by the borrower. If the amount of the marginal requirement is high, means surely the takeaway of the remaining credit will be lower by the borrower. So the borrower will not show any interest in buying the credit, as a result of which the money supply will be coming down. Second is regulation of consumer credit. Regulation of consumer credit takes place under two types. One is minimum down payment. Second is period of payment. Minimum down payment is that is also a percentage of money they should be paying before taking the credit. That is the minimum down payment. Period of payment is the corresponding number of amount that has to be paid for a particular period of month. அப்படின்றது தான் period of payment. For example, if a person is taking loan for 10 months EMI, means EMI, then suddenly next year the same EMI has been reduced to 5 months, means surely the corresponding amount will paid per month will also get increased, as a result of which the borrower will not show any kind of interest whenever there is whenever the period of payment is lesser when compared to the previous year or year before. So whenever by changing the rate of minimum down payment as well as the period of payment, the inflation could also be reduced. Third is rationing of credit, varying portfolio ceiling and variable credit, variable capital. That is varying the amount of credit that should be supplied to a particular industry or sector. அப்படின்னும் போது we can be able to control the inflation. எப்படி அப்படின்னா, there are certain sectors which will be the output of these sectors will be inflationary in nature. By identifying these sectors, RBI will have some what to say, certain tight requirements, or they will be cutting the flow of credit which is going from the bank to that sector, which produces more, whose output are more inflationary in nature. Second is by variable capital, that is by RBI will be fixing risk weight for every kind of credit given by the bank. For example, if a person A buys a credit from a bank, and let us consider this person, the default rate of this, the default and the percentage of chances through by which இந்த ஒரு A வந்துட்டு எந்த percentage அளவுக்கு he could default the money which he bought from the bank is say 150%. So that the amount of money which he bought from the bank is rupees 1000, means the loan will be considered as 1500 rupees, because there are more number of chances that he may be defaulting the money. The chances is 150%. Then correspondingly the book record will be maintained as 150% of the loan which was taken by the A. So as a result of which the money which the bank will get reduced whenever they are lending to the person or industry or sector who has very high risk in terms of credit. So by varying this risk weight of the sectors, they could able to adjust the inflation which is present in the system. Fourth is direct action. Direct action is nothing but whenever the our bank doesn't follow the monetary policy or RBI guidelines, means RBI will have a RBI is having a tight regulatory policy through which they could able to easily able to identify the banks which are not obeying or not in compliance with the RBI guidelines. So they could directly take action against the banks. Fifth is moral persuasion, that is sensitizing the bank and bank employees about the ill effect of the inflation and its effect on the weaker section of the people or the economy as the whole. uh, Government able to RBI able to control the inflation. Last is publicity, that is by making the banks to publicize the report annually or biannually or monthly, through which the transparency of the bank could be increased, as a result of which the people get empowered, and then they will the empowerment of people will lead to more demand of quality service from the bank. So bank would be now would get into a position of delivering a proper service to the people. So this is the methods of controlling credit by the monetary policy committee. So what we should know in order to have a uh, overall comprehensive outlook of the news that was appeared today. So these are the three areas. If other than the previous slide, other than the areas which we have seen in previously, we should have a clear understanding about it also. For example, what needed to be studied? Effect of rate on EMI. What rate? In the increase in the interest rate. Whenever there is an increase in interest rate, there will be corresponding effect on the EMI also. So what is that EMI? And another thing is, what is non-financial debt, which was asked in 2021 prelims. Because due to we all aware that there was a rise in NPA. Right now it is decreasing, but before last year there was increase in NPA there, and also there was corresponding increase in the credit card payment, the corresponding increase in the default of credit card payment. So that is why the question was asked in the 2021 prelims about what are all the things which constitutes non-financial debt. So we should also know about what is non-financial debt is about. Second is inflation and its type. What is inflation? What are its types? What are its effect on the economy? There are different section of people will be affected differently by the inflation. There are certain section of people will get benefited. So overall, the section of people will get benefited. Overall, the section will get affected. What is inflation? What are all these types? We should have a clear understanding about them. Third is what is consumer price index? The index through which uh, uh, or inflation of India is calculated. What is wholesale price index and their components and their weightage which given to each of the component present in the index. So we should have a look at them. Another important news which came today is irrigation scheme unravels in jargon. Aadhaar misused, funds claimed, farmers clueless. That is, certain section of people are fudged the Aadhaar cards of the farmers, and they diverted or siphoned the money which should be gone to the real farmer beneficiaries. So ஒரு ஸ்கேம் நடந்திருக்கு. This scam was investigated by Indian Express News itself under a scheme Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana kila certain middlemen fudged the document of farmers and they diverted the funds to them instead of reaching it to the farmers. So what is this news? See, it's revealed that huge diversion of fund has taken place by creating fake beneficiary accounts with awareness of without awareness, not without awareness. without awareness of real beneficiaries. So about Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchay Yojana. It is so we should have a understanding about Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchay Yojana, no? Because that is what the news is about. That is where the scam has taken place. It is a centrally sponsored scheme. Central grants to the whenever there is a scheme related to centrally sponsored scheme means there will be a sharing, a certain proportion of a percentage of sharing will be happening between the center and the state most of the times, not all the times. Central grants to the state government for specific activities. 9:10 ratio for, that is 90% of the fund will be given by the central, 10% of the fund will be given by the state for the northeastern states, and 70:25 funds are will be given for rest of the country other than northeastern states. Objective is to achieve the convergence of investment in irrigation field. That is the colliding, synergizing the efforts in the irrigation level at the field level. Second is expanding the cultivable area under assured irrigation. So if there is assured irrigation, surely there will be corresponding rise in the cultivation also. So that is the second objective. Third objective is improve of on-farm water use efficiency to reduce wastage of water. This is the fourth is enhance the adaptation of precision irrigation and other water saving technologies. What are all the components of Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchay Yojana? First is accelerated irrigation benefit program. It aims for financial support to irrigation projects. Second is the inclusion criteria have been relaxed for project under tribal and drought prone areas. That is the main objective is to increase the irrigation. Second component is Har Ghar Ko Pani. That is, it aims to enhance the physical access on the farm and the expansion of the cultivable area under assured conditions, assured irrigation. That is, it is also this component deals with increasing areas, cultivable areas with assured irrigation. Another important thing under this project is this project is being implemented by Department of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation. Another important part of this project is they wanted to revamp, reproduce the naturally available pond which is in dormant stage, or which is not used at all, not used at all currently. So they wanted to revamp or rejuvenate the naturally occurring ponds and use those ponds or water bodies to the irrigation of agricultural area which is present near the water bodies. So this is the news. Third is watershed development. Watershed means it is area related to particular river or water sources. It is being, since it is deals with lands, developing the land naturally. So it is being implemented by Department of Land Resources. It focuses on development of rain-fed areas towards soil, water conservation, regeneration of groundwater, arresting the runoff, promoting extension activities related to water harvesting. That is the comprehensive development of the land. That is what the project is about. Third component. Per crop, more crop. Under this component only the scam has taken place. It is being implemented by Department of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare. Per crop, more crop. From the name itself, we could able to arrive that it is one of the important project to promote the drip and sprinkler irrigation in the agriculture field. Right now, we know that most of the agriculture farmers are using the traditional or inefficient method of using a flood type irrigation, because of which there is wastage of water is taking place, and also more number of methane emission is also taking place. So, in order to overcome these defects and to increase the water efficiency and reduce the emission from the agriculture, per crop more drop project is being implemented. That's it. What we needed to study. Other schemes related to farming. What are all the schemes related to farmings? Comparison of irrigation to other countries which has, or to say, agriculture as the one of the main important economic development source. Third is, what are all the types of irrigation that is followed in India. Another important thing what we should know is about Ministry of Agri and Water Resources. These both ministries working as well as their administration should be known by the students. In addition to the three peripheral areas. That's it. Another important news is a quarter diabetic or pre-diabetic, a third obese, study flags national health concern. That is, it is the, what to say, it is a research analysis of data which was produced in the Lancet journal. It is a collaboration of 12 years cross-sectional population-based survey. On the survey collect பண்ணி they have produced certain set of results. That is what the news is about. What they have said is the country's diabetic burden will be shooting up in the next 5 years, especially in rural areas and state where the burden is lower now. The survey was produced in the Lancet. That is what the news is about. They are giving some alarming signal that India is going to face a rise in the diabetics in the near future. So this is what the news is about. As a civil service aspirant, we should not stop with reading just the newspaper. We should get one step ahead and look into what are all the topic they are talking about. For example, in this news they are talking about diabetics. So we should have idea about what is diabetics. First is non-communicable diseases. It is a non-communicable diseases. Second is, it occurs either when the pancreas do not produces enough insulin or when the body cannot effectively uses the insulin it produces. Another is type of diabetes. This one is type 1 there are three types of diabetes. First one is type 1 diabetes. It is a juvenile. Oh, 1 minute. Yeah, type 1 diabetes is juvenile diabetes which affects children 14 to 16 years. Second is, this type occurs when the body fails to produce enough insulin. Whenever the pancreas fails to produce enough insulin means this type of diabetes will be occurring. The second type of diabetes is type 2 diabetics. It affects the way the body uses insulin. It affects the way the body uses insulin while the body still makes insulin. That is, this type of diabetes occurs whenever, even though the body is producing, the pancreas are producing insulin also, the body doesn't be able to use the insulin for the repair purpose. As a result of which type 2 kind of diabetes will be occurring. It occurs across all section of people, but it but the proportion of the person those who are get affected is higher in middle age as well as the older people. Third type of diabetics is gestational diabetics. That is, women during the pregnancy time, the body sometimes becomes less sensitive to the insulin. So it does not occur. It will occur for the woman in pregnancy, but not to the all the women. So, but it will usually get resolved after giving birth to a child. So what we needed to study is, first, what is the end, that is this is what the news is about, and the related what to say, details about the related topic. So we wanted to go one step ahead to know about the peripheral areas where the UPC could ask the question, what is about the end TB strategy of WHO, that is World Health Organization. Second is, what are all the reasons for diabetic occurrence. The newspaper article gave some reasons, that is because of the sedentary nature of the work condition as well as genetic condition. There is the rise in diabetics in India. There are some other conditions, so we should have a look at it, and should have a basic understanding about what are all the overall reason because of which the diabetes is occurring and will occur in India. About World Diabetic Day, why it was started, when what is the purpose it was started. Second is, what is the theme for this year's World Biodiversity Day, Diabetic Day. We have to take a look at it. Fourth is, we should know about programs and schemes by India to curb the menace of diabetics that is happening in India. What are all these programs and schemes? It will be available at the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare websites. So we could, so students should take a note of it, so that we could, and also the micro details of it also, so that the student could be able to understand. So what India is doing in relation to the diabetics. So it could be useful for prelims as well as mains. Another news is let the river flow. That is, we all know the Yamuna river, one of the major important tributary of Ganges, is being polluted, and it is being named as one of the world's most polluted river in the world. So NGO called Mata Lalita Devi Seva Saram Trust. The trust conducted a program, that is forming a human chain on the bank of river Yamuna to raise the awareness about the pollution happening in the river. This awareness program has given a set of reason why the pollution is occurring in the river. That is, people. That is, they are saying that there is a lack of proper implementation of the policies or schemes made by the governments. Right now, the proportion of the funds allocated to revamp the rivers has been increased. But that corresponding proportion of increase in the funds is not seen in the ground level implementation. As a result of which, the river is getting polluted very severely. There is the pollution is not getting decreased as a result of massive efforts taken by the both central as well as the state government. Second is, there is lack of proper planning in the urban city planning in Delhi. That is, government, there is lack of integration in the planning itself between the urban space as well as the ecosystem, natural ecosystem that is present in the urban space. Third is high pollution from the sources. It can be either industrial sources or household sources or any other sectoral sources. The discharge pollution from these sources are also contributing to the increasing pollution of the Yamuna river. So we have to know, this is the news is about. So these points could be useful for mains, but we should know why the Yamuna river is so important by knowing river Yamuna. What is river Yamuna is about? So first is Yamuna is the second largest tributary. This is important fact. So we should not confuse with the facts. Second largest tributary river of the Ganges by discharge, and the longest tributary in India. Second is it originates from Yamunotri glaciers, which is present at certain heights at lower Himalayas in Uttarakhand. Third is it merges with Ganges at Triveni Sangam at Allahabad. That is now called Prayagraj, which is a site of Kumbh Mela, a Hindu festival held every 12 years. Another important data about Yamuna is the catchment of river Yamuna system covers part of Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Haryana, and Rajasthan, and Delhi. These 5 states and 1 union territory covers the catchment area of Yamuna river system. What needed to be studied further? So right now we know the news, we know the details of the Yamuna river. So what we needed to study further? As a civil service aspirant, we should go one step ahead in order to have comprehensive overall view about the pollution of the Yamuna river. First is we should know about what is about Yamuna Rejuvenate project that is taken by both central as well as the state government. Day before yesterday, while we are discussing our news, we discussed about Yamuna revamping project being inaugurated by Delhi Development Authority. You could see in the previous day before yesterday daily current affair analysis video. There we discussed about the project being implemented by the Delhi Development Authority. So we should also know what are all the other projects being implemented by the states as well as the center to rejuvenate the Yamuna river. Second is Namami Ganges program. This program also we discussed. This is from the name itself we could able to know that this program deals with the rejuvenation of Ganges. Third is geography of Yamuna river. Geography if whenever I mention about geography means it doesn't mean only with land. It also mean the type of soil present in the Yamuna. Second is the vegetation that grows in the soil. What type of vegetation grows in what type of soil? Second is vegetation. Third is wildlife. Fourth is plants. Fifth is the tribal people. Whenever there is a vegetation or forest area means there will be certain section of tribal people whose livelihood would be dependent upon the forest. And finally, there will be land. What are all the lands or important topographies or valleys or passes that are available in the area. So you should have a look at it. Whenever I am mentioning geography means these are all the things will encompass under the word geography. So another important news that came today is government to utilize PACS, that is Primary Agriculture Credit Society, to introduce drone that is they are going to use PACS as drone entrepreneurs for spraying fertilizer in the villages, because PACS is the credit society present in the village level. So they are using this outlet to spray the to spray fertilizer in the agricultural land that is present in the village in order to increases the availability of fertilizer at the last mile. So this is the news. So we should have look about what is PACS is about. PACS is Primary Agricultural Credit Society. As I said, is a village level cooperative credit society. Second is it serves as the last link in the 3-tier credit structure, which is headed by State Cooperative Society at the state level, and district central cooperative banks at the district level. Then it will be state, district, and village. So state will provide credit or any other facilities to district. District will be providing credit or other facility to village in order to farmers, help their farmers and for their well-beings. So this is the flowchart. PACs provides, they only provide short term and medium term. They don't provide long term loans to the farmers. The first pack was formed in 1904. This is important fact. Whenever if UPSC asks question, that is packs are new innovation of independent India means, no, that is wrong. It is available during the time of British itself. That is during 1904. 1 year before the partition of Bengal, because partition of Bengal happened during 1905. So what we needed to study further. Right now we have seen what the PACS is about, that is Primary Agriculture Credit Society. So we should know about what is regional rural banks, which is available to help the farmers or the not only the farmers, the rural economy as well as a whole. Second is NABARD, a regulatory body created by the RBI, created by the government in order to increase the overall rural economy. Second is about Urban Cooperative Bank. What is Urban Cooperative Bank? There was a news previous year, that is RBI bought Urban Cooperative Bank under its regulatory control. So we should have a look at it. Finally, it is function of self-help. What is the function of self-help group, particularly women self-help? So this means, most importantly, we should know about what NABARD. NABARD was created, as I said, to develop the overall economy in the rural area and also develop rural infrastructure. That is helping and another thing is giving skilling as well as reskilling the people, those who are coming out of the agriculture and going to the other sectors. So NABARD will be facilitate those transition by providing skilling as well as reskilling to the people. Another is it refinances it acts as the refinancing agent to the regional rural banks. So that's the important news that came today. So we'll have a quick look about the previous year questions which was asked in connection with the news which occurred today. So so we could have idea that whenever we read a news like this means, so the question is asked like this. So there is a high possibility that நம்மளுக்கு ஒரு ஐடியா வரும். இப்போ இந்த நியூஸ் பார்க்குறோம், அந்த நியூஸ் ரிலேட்டடான ப்ரீவியஸ் இயர் கொஸ்டின் பார்க்கும்போது அந்த நியூஸ் வந்து இப்படி கேட்டிருக்காங்க, இப்போ இப்படியும் கேட்கலாம். ஸோ லைக் தட் வி குட் ஏபிள் டு ஹாவ் சம் ஐடியா அப்படின்ற ஒரு ஐடியா, நம்மளுக்கு ஒரு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் வரும். ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இப்போ வந்து RBI பற்றி பார்த்தோம் இல்லையா, மானிட்டரி பாலிசி கமிட்டி. ஸோ தேர் வாஸ் அ கொஸ்டின் previous year there was a question related to monetary policy committee itself directly. Which of the following statements are correct regarding to monetary policy committee? It decides the RBI's benchmark interest rate. Yes, correct, which we discussed. Second is it is a 12-member body including governor of RBI and it is reconstituted every year. No, what we studied is it is a 6-member body and it is not reconstituted every year. It functions under the overall chairmanship of Union Finance Minister. No, this is also wrong. It functions under RBI governor, under the chairmanship of RBI governor. So both the statement are wrong. So answer is option A. With reference to urban cooperative banks in India, consider the following statement. They are supervised and regulated by local boards set up by the state governments. They can issue equity shares and preference shares. They were bought under the purview of Banking Regulation Act 1949 through an amendment in 1966. As we have discussed, the urban cooperative banks are bought under the realm of regulation of RBI, not under the local board set by the state government. So this is the news which is related to current affair of the previous year. So the statement is wrong. Then the remaining statement is correct. So statement answer is 2. Another important question that occurred previously is 2020, I think so. This consider the following statement. In terms of short-term credit delivery to agriculture sector, district central cooperative banks deliver more credit in comparison to scheduled commercial bank and regional rural bank. We don't know. Second is, one of the important function of DCCB is to provide fund to PACs. Yes, which we discussed now. But whenever there is a question related to proportion of the credit given to the farmers, means it is only given by, that is higher, even though there may be cooperative society, regional rural banks, which was developed specifically to help the rural economy or to enhance the rural development. These scheduled commercial banks credit facilities proportion only higher when compared to those regional rural banks and the cooperative societies, which is present specifically in the rural areas itself. அதாவது என்னதான் வந்து ரீஜனல் ரூரல் பேங்க்ஸ், கோஆபரேட்டிவ் பேங்க்ஸ் இதெல்லாமே வந்து ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்காக ஒரு ரூரல் ஏரியாவை டெவலப் பண்ணுறதுக்கு உருவாக்குனாங்களோ கூட, these scheduled commercial bank are only providing more loans when compared to these bodies. This is the general understanding which could be useful for clearing eliminate the answer. So first statement is wrong, second statement is correct. So another important thing is the mains question which was asked in 2014. In the village itself, no form of credit organization will be suitable except the cooperative society. All India Rural Credit Survey. It was the statement given under All India Rural Credit Survey. Discuss the statement in the background of agricultural finance in India. What constraints and challenges do financial institutions supplying agricultural finance face? How can technology may be used to better reach and serve rural clients? So this is the main question which was asked related to cooperative society. I asked those students, those who are watching the live session, could please comment the answer point for this mains question. So whenever students are coming up with the answer point to the mains question is, நிறைய பசங்க வரும்போது we could able to enrich our own points, so that we could able to learn from other students points, and some other students we could able to learn from our own points, as a result of which there will be some enriching of points will be taking place. So நம்ம எல்லாருமே சேர்ந்து மேலே போகிறதுக்காக உதவும். So please do comment in the comment section for the answer point for the mains question, which is given today. So thank you for all aspirants, those who are watching this session online. Please do comment and do subscribe so that you could be able to